Hello, I'm Kendall Long, and this is our new show where I ask two sexy singletons if they are down to date. During the show, we'll be hosting a first date here in our studio in Los Angeles with the hope of helping folks find true love. We're going to be playing silly games, ask awkward questions, and present our daters with challenges to see if they are compatible with each other. So without further ado, let me introduce our first contestants who are down to date. We have Alec and Emily.
Hello.
Hi.
We are going to be asking them their life story in 1 minute. It's a lot of pressure, fitting your entire life story in 1 minute.
Okay.
I wasn't even briefed on this.
I wasn't briefed either. Who has to go first?
All right. Well, you want to go first, Emily?
Okay.
I see.
No, I was like hoping that he had to go. That's why I was like, who has to go first? Like, do I have a second?
Wait, rock, paper, scissors, or?
You know what? I'll just try to go for it here.
Okay.
Alec is feeling brave. All right. So, in as much detail as possible, you're going to give us your life story in 1 minute. On your mark, get set, go.
Okay. Born in Pennsylvania. Grandfather was a golf professional. Moved down to Virginia. My dad was a pilot. He worked at a Dulles Airport in Leesburg, Virginia, which is the very northernmost part outside of D.C. Grew up there for the majority of my life. Went to 3 high schools. Parents got divorced when I was like 14. Moved around. And then went to college. Came back. Went to another college. And then transferred into George Mason, where I finally graduated. And then did that all in 4 years. Didn't even skip a beat. Proud of that. Then moved out to the West Coast. Been out here for about 3 years. Got a job in finance after trying to find a job for 2.5 months, and here we are.
You have 20 seconds left. I am so impressed
Wow.
that you fit all of that in 45 seconds. Wow, you still had room. You could have continued.
I didn't know how much you wanted me to expand.
No, that was good. That was efficient. I like that.
That was literally all the facts lined
Bullet point
up.
of my life.
I liked it. Was there anything you feel like you left out?
I have a little brother. I didn't even mention
Family.
him.
You didn't mention family. Pets.
I have a dog. I had 2 dogs. Yeah.
It's too late.
I didn't have a small pound kitten, though. I didn't.
You're missing out. You're missing out.
I don't get to go home to those.
I know. They're pretty great.
All right, Emily. Do you think you can fit as much in as Alec in 1 minute?
Yeah. I don't know if I can beat the 45-second mark, but I'll try.
Oh, yeah. No, you should fully use your
My
full
phone is
1
out.
minute.
I'm timing.
Oh, we have a timer right there. I'm ready to go.
We do have a timer.
Good.
This is, I forgot to say, you can see that there is a timer in front of you. So if you feel like,
Oh, no, yeah, I was referencing that. I was kind of seeing how much time he had left and trying to gauge it.
I was thoroughly impressed. I was thoroughly impressed with the amount of efficiency that you answered that.
Yeah, no, same. I feel
right,
like
Emily.
I'm on the mark.
You can
now.
do this.
All
Are
right.
you ready? All right,
I'm ready.
1 minute on the clock. On your mark, get set, go.
All right, so I was born in the Bay Area, actually in Sonoma, and then moved to San Jose. My parents split up when I was 2.5, 3, and then moved down to San Diego, went to elementary school there, and then moved to, and then my mom had my little brother who he's 14, he'll be 15 next week. And then he's actually born 9 years, 3 days after me. I'm June 25th, he's June 28th. And then went to high school in Palm Springs and then USC for college. And I've been living in LA it's been 3 years since I graduated now. And I work in music mostly. And I actually have my first single coming out soon. So that's been my big project that I've been working on for the past couple months. And yep. Ooh,
Wow.
still
We have the same birthday.
Wait, really? You're June
You have the same
25th?
birthday?
June 25th.
Wait, it's less than a week?
Less than a week.
All right.
Oh my gosh, you guys have the same birthday.
I'll be 25
Guys,
and you'll be 24.
Yep.
I didn't plan
Nice.
this. I
That's
swear I did
crazy.
not plan you guys to have the same birthday.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Wait, what sign is that?
Cancer.
That's Cancer.
Cancer. Okay, so what I've heard about Cancer, I have a couple friends that are Cancers. Does that mean that you are open emotionally, or what do you guys feel a Cancer is to you?
I mean, everybody's different. And, if you get super into, there's part of me is super into astrology, and then part of me is it's all bullshit. But,
I want your take on
but yeah,
our
for
sign.
our, okay, because also, so, I don't know what time you're born and everything like that, but then if you start getting into, the rise, your rising and your moon sign and stuff as well as your sun sign, I think that develops it a little bit more. And because for me, both my rising and my moon are both Gemini, plus we're pretty close to the Gemini cusp being June 25th. So I feel I tend to feel there's like in the way that Gemini's considered the twins, I feel like one of my twins is like the Cancer side. And then there is like the other part of me that's like there's a part of me that is like a homebody and likes to be home and like, you know, just like cook and be like, yes, like here. But then there is like this other part of me that's just like, I want to go out and like do things and like see all of my friends all of the time. And like,
it's so crazy how signs have so much to them. You know, it's not only your sign, it's like your moon rising. Like I did actually read my chart at one point and it was pretty spot on. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, they usually are.
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's because they're supposed to be very generalistic or if they actually are hitting on something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like definitely like once you start getting into the more like not just being like your sun sign, but the other ones, like I think it's like, oh yeah, well, like that's me.
That's me.
Wait, so how are two Cancers together? Is that something that the universe can do?
Can we date each other? Is that
I don't
a
know.
thing?
We'll have to look into this. Do we have an astrologist on set?
Yeah,
We need to call an astrologist
phone
right
a friend?
now. Phone an
Is this-
astrologist.
like
I don't know. We need one on speed dial right now.
right now. Yeah, what?
Man, we could be going against the universe right now, guys.
Yeah, we don't know.
All right, so we have gotten the surface level questions out of the way. So the whole thing about this podcast is I love, you know, getting in depth, going down and dirty with all the in-depth questions. So in front of you guys, you have a stack of flashcards. And so I would like you guys to each alternate and take turns reading the flashcards and asking each other the questions on them. And I want both of you guys to answer the question that's on the flashcards. So Emily, do you want to go first and read the first flashcard?
Sure. All right. If you were visiting a tribe that's tradition was to eat someone who had passed away, would you try human meat?
Ooh.
Wow, you guys came swinging out of
That's
the
a
gate
pretty
on this
heavy one for a first question.
This is good.
Am I going to die if I don't? Can I ask a question back?
I don't think you'll die.
I think it's more just
I think it's
disrespectful.
just the choice.
If I'm going to spend a long time with this tribe, then probably.
Really? You want to get accustomed to, you know, their culture
Yeah, you
and
gotta
like
get
feel
into
like
it,
you're
right?
ingrained
You
in the
can't,
tribe. I can understand that.
Yeah, you can't offend them.
Yeah,
right
how
out of the
about you?
gate.
Would you?
Yeah, for like, it would just be, I feel like it'd be weird
It's like
not
a fast
to.
answer.
Yeah,
I mean,
she
like-
knew right away. She's like, yes, I would totally
Like-
try human meat.
Well, then also like it's like realistically, it's like the least offensive. Like I don't know, we've had more than one.
I mean, eating a human's pretty offensive.
but like, it'd be more offensive, I think, in this case, to not try it. You know what I mean? And like, the dead is dead; they don't care.
This
Like,
is true.
I don't know. I want to be fish food when I die, so I might as well
Wow.
like feed someone. You know?
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we can go to the second question after that one. I found out so much about you guys.
All right, let's see. Compare the person you were 10 years ago with who you are now.
Ooh.
Well, 10 years ago, I was only 13, so like I would like to think that there were like a lot of things that have changed since then. I think I'm actually I'm just way more secure than the person I was 10 years ago. I mean, when you're like 13,
Yes.
you're in the midst of your awkward phase where like you criticize every little part of yourself and hate every little part. So, you know what I mean? And everything seems like the end of the world, and it's just like nice to like have realized that like, oh yeah, like the fact that I gave myself a bad haircut like wasn't like gonna
It'll
end
grow
my
out in
life.
10 years.
I
Don't
had a
even worry
total
about
fro.
it.
I had a total fro when I was 13, and I felt like I was always in my head. I couldn't get out of my own head, and it's like now I'm what you were saying, just like right along. I'm much more comfortable in my own skin than I was at 13. So
Well, what would you tell your 13-year-old self?
don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just relax and just
Yeah.
go along with the flow because it's like one big ride, and you just can't take it too seriously. So
Yeah, and that like trying to fit in is really overrated, and that like you'll get over it in a few years.
Yes, definitely. I wish I can go back to my 13-year-old self and just say, don't overthink everything.
yeah.
You know, and that guy you like, he's definitely not as good as the amazing boyfriend you have now. So just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right. So who's next? Or you have?
I think my turn to read a question. Who was your first enemy?
Oh my God. So there was this kid. I mean, it was like right away. We were like mortal enemies in high school. I mean, this kid would like in gym class. It was always gym class, and he would like try to mess with me, but I was not. I was not the kind of kid who took being messed with lying down. We just always fought, and we'd catch ourselves like fist fighting. And we had like a drill sergeant of a gym teacher, and he was like, Mr. Doss. He's like, stop touching Alec. And it was like we always fought back and forth. And so then things got really bad, and then we just like never talked, and we were like mortal enemies in high school.
Are you guys still enemies? You guys still just not on a talking basis at all? Do you Instagram creep?
He called me out of the blue about a year and a half ago and apologized for the way he acted in high school.
I'm so proud of him. That's so difficult to do. I thought society
stepped it up a notch.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's like full circle. That's actually a really, good story.
So I apologize too, and all is well.
Nice. So. All is mended. Yeah. Well, how about you? How about your mortal enemy?
I don't feel like I ever had like really a mortal enemy. I was just like generally picked on a lot in middle school by like kind of everyone, but I actually had like a similar experience to what you had, where like this girl who was one of the main girls who would kind of, like, we were also friends, so it's weird because it wasn't like I really viewed her that much as a bully. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, all my friends are mean to me. But like she actually was like one of the meaner ones, and about like 6 or maybe like 3-4 months ago now, she came over because she's still friends with like my roommate, because I live with my roommate who I've known since I was 10. But so she came over and she actually like apologized to me. She was like, yeah, I was actually thinking about this like recently, that like we were all really mean to you, and it's because we like kind of all would just like shit on each other, but you were the only one who just like took it and like didn't ever throw shit back. I was like, well, yeah, because it was mean. Like I didn't want to be mean when I was little. So
you both made amends with your enemies, which is good.
Isn't it
like
you guys this weird feeling so where you're like, right? You're like, wow, I can like let go of all that now.
Yeah. It was very weird for me.
That's good. That stuff is in the past. We are now adults, I think. Fully adulting.
Yeah, some days.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, Alec, next question.
All right, here we go. Have you ever been through a phase, emo, vegan, rebel, etc.?
Ooh.
Pretty much all of those.
Which one is the most recent phase you've been through?
Between emo, vegan, and...
Well, just any kind of phase. Like, what phase? Which was the most memorable, I should say?
My scene phase was like a pretty interesting time, just like because like the fact that I thought any of it was like okay to wear is just like, I mean, like I like actually my freshman year of high school tried to dye my hair like a really, it wasn't fully black, but like really dark brown, and like had the eyeliner and the band t-shirts and like heavy Warped Tour participant. Like,
so that's emo. Is emo scene?
Well,
is that
kind of similar? But like I wasn't like cutting myself for any like of the actual emotions. I was still like just there like, hey guys, but like with my weird hair and ridiculous eyeliner that I thought was a good look and just was not okay. And my braces, which I would like, when you get the weird colors too.
Yes.
I'd get like purple.
Have you had braces?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Fourth grade. I had them for 2 years.
Wow. See, I had mine in middle school, so it just contributed to the awkward phase more. It was great times.
Nice. So how about you, Alec? Have you ever had a phase?
Oh, yeah, for sure. So my dad was like a big rocker growing up. And so like he'd get me these stupid T-shirts when he'd go to these rock concerts. And so I remember just having this, then I had my fro for like years. And I was like this big curly fro. And I had these like rock T-shirts that I would wear to high school. Out. I was like 5'2" as a freshman in high school, just like doing my own thing, like again, in my own head, just like didn't even know what was going on. And and then I went through my skateboarding phase. And that was the whole thing.
How many broken bones did you get from skateboarding?
Probably 6 or 7 at least.
It's like such a dangerous sport. I think of all the sports, skateboarding is like hardcore.
Yeah. I took it very seriously.
Yeah.
Especially because kids like don't wear helmets or like any of the padding or things that you're supposed to wear, and they're like, I can go like just.
No, it's not cool to wear elbow padding and helmets when you're a teenager.
And I refused to wear certain pads.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, because you were a hardcore rock and skateboarder.
Yeah, totally.
Nice. All right, Emily. Next question.
All right. What is the most intimate thing a couple can do together?
You know what? I think if you're like going to sit on the couch and watch a romantic movie and you're sort of just laying with each other and just sort of in each other's arms, and then there's like that scene where you pause the movie and you never start the movie again because it just escalates to the next level. All
right, so basically you're saying that the most intimate you can be with another person is Netflix and chill.
If I'm going to be the most basic human being on the planet, yes, I would say that that's pretty intimate.
Do you like Netflix and chilling?
I mean, yeah, like it is, but I feel like it's again, like it's just basic. Like it's not like a. See, for me, like I think like honestly, the most intimate thing you can do with another person is like if you can go to the bathroom in front of the other person, then that means that like you're actually like do you know what I mean? That's like real intimacy, I think.
What number
like,
are we talking?
I mean, like, especially number 2, but, like, we try to not have to, like, ever be put in that position.
I
But
have not reached that level with Joe yet.
Nope. I've never reached that level. Ever.
No, maybe we're just not, maybe we're just not doing relationships right.
I mean, like, I think maybe I have, like, one time, like, when it was, like, a really dire situation. But, like, other than that, but, like, if you could, like, go, like, at least, like, be able to, like, pee with, like, the bathroom door open, not, like, all the time, but if it's, like, one of those, like, it wouldn't be, like, oh, my God, things, then, like, you know what I mean? I think, like, people just need to be, like, able to be comfortable in their skin.
All right. What trait in yourself do you think people don't see but you want them to see?
I don't know if there really is any. Like, I think sometimes people tend to think that I'm dumber than I am, but I usually enjoy that because then I'm underestimated, which is, like, a better position to be in, I think. So
I can relate to that, actually.
I think, but yeah, so I don't know. I feel like that's, like, the one thing that often gets overlooked is I think a lot of people, like, assume that I don't know what I'm talking about a lot of the time.
Most of the time, I don't know what I'm talking about. So
sometimes it's just all bullshit, but, it's fine.
So,
it's like the sneak attack, you know? They underestimate you and then you just, like, jump in there and surprise them. It's like, bah, bah.
I actually know what I'm talking about.
It's very rare
I like
for me
that.
to know something. That's nice.
Yeah, so when you can get that information in there, like, I know something.
Facts. All right. Well, then.
All right, my turn.
Next question.
When was the last time you were proud of yourself?
Today, I drove here and I put my seatbelt on.
That's important. Safety first.
Yeah. I was about to say, I like try to give I try to be proud of the little things because, it's like if I like got up in the morning and like I took a shower, wow, that's awesome. You did a thing. Yeah, I agree. Like, probably today. I like made it here. And I was on time and I was really nervous I was going to be late, but I had like 3 minutes to spare. So
I got out of work and pulled off the lie that I was going to a dentist appointment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, see, that's like the scary thing, telling your boss or teacher or like the
I did it
dentist
so
appointment.
effortlessly. It didn't even faze me.
It goes right out.
Yeah. Lie.
Little white lies.
Here you go. There it is.
That's an acquired skill.
All right, ladies, it's time to talk about the time of month when Aunt Flo comes into town. Yes, I am definitely talking about your period. And if you guys are like me, you guys like to put good things in your body. And a lot of people don't realize that as much as you like to eat healthy things, make sure that you're putting good things in your body when you're eating, you also should put good things in your body when it comes to Aunt Flo. You definitely don't want to put chemicals and bad stuff in your body. And that's why I absolutely love using Lola. Lola products are 100% organic cotton with no added chemicals, fragrances, synthetics, or dyes. No BS, mystery fibers, or doubts about what's going in your body. Plus, Lola products come in a simple, customizable subscription. Lola will deliver exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. They are first biodegradable, all-natural wipe of their kind. One thing that could be a little bit scary is that the FDA doesn't require brands to disclose a comprehensive list of ingredients in their feminine care products, so you have no idea what's going inside of your body with some of these products. But Lola is completely different. Lola offers complete transparency about their ingredients found in their tampons, pads, liners, and wipes. That means that there is absolutely no mystery chemicals, which I think is extremely important when it comes to putting something in your body. And ladies, I know we have definitely all been there. You're face to face with the clerk at the store, and he's watching you buy these tampons and pads, and you can't help but feel a little bit awkward. I know I definitely do. The one thing I love about Lola is that it sends it right to my door. So it's discreet and keeps this private moment very private, which I am a fan of. I also don't have to send Joe to get me tampons and pads, which he definitely will do. But, this is just kind of like avoiding all the awkwardness of having to do that when it just delivers right to your door. And here's my absolute favorite thing about Lola. You do good with your purchase. For every purchase, they donate feminine care products to homeless shelters across the United States. So not only are you benefiting your body, but you're benefiting a lot of other women's bodies that need to have products like this, that don't have access to products like this. Lola is made by women for women. For 40% off your first month subscription, visit mylola.com and enter LONG, L-O-N-G. That's my last name, L-O-N-G, LONG, when you subscribe. That's 40% off for your first month subscription. Visit mylola.com and enter LONG, L-O-N-G. Support for Down to Date comes from Manscaped, who is the #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineering tools for your family jewels. Now, I know us ladies like to make sure we've got a clean house going on down there, but guys definitely have to freshen that up as well. I know that Joe just got the Lawnmower 2.0, and for the very first time in our relationship, he actually went fully clean. It might be TMI, but it was actually very refreshing. He also had this deodorant that he used down there. It's like a Baldry deodorant to keep those twigs and berries all nice and fresh. And I have to say, I was thoroughly impressed. And I won't tell you what happened after that, but you guys can read between the lines. So get 20% off plus free shipping with the code LONG LONG at manscaped.com. That's manscaped.com. So make sure you guys check it out. Manscaped is awesome. It came with all these really cute little kits, and what I love the most about the manscaping products is that the scent isn't one of those overwhelmingly powerful, like hit you in the face kind of scents. It's like very subtle and very masculine. I am a huge fan of it. So get 20% off and free shipping with the code LONG LONG at manscaped.com. That's manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use my code LONG.
I want to switch it up, do a little bit of game time. All right, so I want to do a debate. All right, so the question of the debate is a hot dog a sandwich? Now I'm going to assign you each with a viewpoint. So Alec, you're going to say a hot dog is a sandwich.
Okay.
Emily, you're going to say a hot dog is not a sandwich.
Okay.
All right. So I would like to have a minute argument from each of you. So Alec,
Okay.
you're going to go first. So convince me that a hot dog is a sandwich.
All right. I feel very strongly about this, by the way. So I think a hot dog is a sandwich, and I'll tell you exactly why. When you have a sandwich, the items are in between two buns. Now, here's the catalyst. The buns are folded, and there's a crease, so it's not detached. So is that technically a sandwich? You show me a book that says a sandwich cannot be touching the other part of the bread. And then we'll talk about that. But I am 100% for a hot dog being a sandwich, and there's no way you can turn that. So
This guy has some political genius in him. That was a very confident argument. All right, Alec. Okay, Emily. So that might be hard to follow up, but I'm going to give you the same amount of time. I'll give you a minute. Convince me that a hot dog is not a sandwich. Your mark, get set, go.
A hot dog is not a sandwich because if somebody came up to you and asked you if you want a hot dog or a sandwich, that's a valid question. And if it's between two pieces of bread, are we going to say a quesadilla is a sandwich? Are we going to say a calzone is a sandwich? Well, how far are you going to go? It's a really slippery slope there. Got to define your food items.
But maybe the person asking if you want a hot dog or a sandwich is just illiterate and didn't know that there's actually it's part of the same category.
But there easily could be a hot dog and a sandwich, and they would be in two separate categories. If you go to the store, the hot dog stuff is in its own section. The sandwich stuff is in its own section.
That's hard to
argue. It is tough to argue, but I will throw this back to the quesadilla. I think you really derailed things there because it's not bread. It could be a corn tortilla.
Point.
So by definition, not a sandwich.
But it's a different type of bread. Than you wouldn't normally get the type of bread that's on a sandwich on a hot dog.
And a calzone? That's like toast. What is
But
that?
you're talking about the connected thing.
I know. There's no rule against it.
All right, so we had the in-depth conversation questions, and they're a little bit difficult, but they're not as difficult as our next section, which is this is my favorite part, actually. This is the jar of questions you should never ask on a first date.
All right.
So this is like where it gets really kind of scary. I think this is probably the scariest part of the entire podcast. So who's brave? I want to know who's brave. I'm shaking this jar to mix up all the questions.
I feel like I should volunteer to go first since you went first for the questions. But
Ooh, okay, we have a brave woman here.
She's keeping track.
We have a brave
of who
woman
went
here.
first.
Okay, Emily, pick the first question.
okay. Is there any sort of color coding I should be aware of?
No, the colors are just crazy.
I'm going to stay away from red, personally. But
It's actually rose.
oh, excuse me.
Who did
I
you
stand
vote for
corrected.
at the last election?
Oh my gosh,
Are we talking-
politics.
Like presidential election,
Oh, yeah.
I assume. Yeah, obviously Clinton. I'm not a Trump supporter.
Right.
Okay. I also voted for Clinton because I could not get myself. I'm a registered Republican, but I cannot get myself to vote for Trump.
Yeah, that's no Trump.
Honestly, I'm surprised we started off with politics so strongly, and this is probably one of the most calm conversations I've had about politics ever.
I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's exactly. I was like, because I wasn't voting for Trump, so that was it. Like,
We do live in LA.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
all right, Alec, are you ready?
Yeah. I'm going to do green. Oh, you did green. I'll do blue. All right. Have you ever had a pregnancy scare?
Nope.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, nothing. No. Like, I mean, maybe like
I even
a
have it,
day
and
or
it's not
two
even
late.
possible.
Well, I mean, if someone you were dating had a pregnancy scare.
Well, it's
Yeah,
true.
no, nothing like ever really serious. Like, I guess my period had been like a day or two late, but it always like it was never like late enough to the point I was like worried something was wrong. So
Well, you're lucky.
yeah,
You're lucky. I feel like it's hard to go through life without having, if one is sexually active,
Yeah.
without having a pregnancy scare.
also like sometimes I think maybe I'm just forgetful and like I probably like should have like worried or I'd be like, oh, my period's already 2 days late, but or something like that. But I usually like forget about those things.
You're just like, 9 months pregnant. Like, man, like I really feel
I know, like-
hungry. I'm craving pickles. I don't know why.
Yeah, and I just keep getting
I
bigger
know
and
a
I don't
couple
get it.
girls are like it did happen where they like didn't realize that they were pregnant, so they're really far along. And part of me wanted to be like, how would you not know? And then part of me is like, honestly, like that probably could have like, happened to me too sometimes.
Well,
But
I've heard of a story of a girl who actually went to the restroom and she gave birth while she felt like she was just going to the bathroom.
wait, what?
How big do you have to be to
yeah,
make that
like that's
happen?
a lot, right?
I mean, what do you got to be like 600 pounds to make
I'm
that?
sure there has to be some kind of scientific, like
Like a
Wow.
thing.
yeah.
It's got to be like a psychological like thing at that point. I feel like almost, the people have like the ghost pregnancies or whatever, or phantom
You're just like
pregnancies.
washing your hands and then there's a kid on the floor. It's like, how does that happen?
That's a lot.
Surprise!
Yeah. I just thought I was putting on weight. Like,
Wait, so Alec, you said you did have a pregnancy scare before. Do you
Oh,
mind
yeah.
opening up about that and telling us more about it?
Yeah. The condom broke and she was not on birth control and I freaked out. And but it was all good. I don't know. Must have been off cycle or whatever, but we were good. So.
I do hear that people, if they don't take any contraception, they go by like the month or,
Yeah.
you can track your cycle. So you guys both got lucky. I mean, or maybe not lucky, depending if you'd want to have a child.
yeah, well, no, I'm 23.
Yeah.
We have time.
We got time. We got time.
All right. I think we should go for another one of these questions. I think they haven't really gotten as scary as I expected them to.
All right.
I think we're both just not afraid to answer anything.
You guys are fearless.
Tell me about the first time you had sex.
Oh, you're gonna answer it first.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
She's
I
down
love
and
it.
ready. Now
You know
she's
what?
ready. Go
I
for
love
it.
this.
Go for it.
Yes, fantastic.
Yeah,
No
Question.
sexual scares,
I'm
no
not even gonna
pregnancy scares,
stop
but she's
that.
down to talk about her first time.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, it was one of those, like, the person was good, but, like, the situation was bad. Like, he was, like, my first high school boyfriend, really. So it was, like, it was fun. It was my senior year of high school. And it was actually, oh, God, I won't tell my mom that I did this.
I'm going to send this to her.
She's gonna send snippets that don't
It's
make it in out.
Yeah, no, I mean, but it was over at, like, his friend's house. It was like on senior ditch day. I was like over at his friend's house, and it was just like one of those like weird things. Like the situation was not romantic like at all, but like the person was a good person, so like it could have been. You know what I mean? Like I would take like having a decent person and like a relatively like shitty experience. You know what I mean? It wasn't bad. It was
Is the
just like,
first
yeah.
time ever
Good,
that
great,
fun?
exactly.
Or is it ever that good? Yeah,
No.
it's like, you don't
I
know
was
what you're
terrified.
doing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What about your first time?
Let's see. I was a junior in high school, and I tried this in the back of a car where I probably needed the most room I've ever needed during sex in my life, and I had probably the most confined space ever
Just
that I
don't
could
know
have
what you're
had.
doing and just like stuck in the backseat.
I think I had an
kind of car was
elbow.
it?
Like, it was a Nissan Sentra. It was like my first. Oh, and this thing was a real beauty, by the way. This car literally was running with shoestrings and bubble gum holding everything together, and this was my
classy.
first time.
We both had very classy first times.
Wait,
Happy
so
for us.
what I'm
Yes,
curious about
yes.
is, do you still have this car that
No.
christened and taking your virginity? No.
No.
Who'd you sell it to? Were you careful about who you sold the car to?
Her dad. I'm joking.
no.
I'm kidding. No, I took it to college and then drove it around in the fraternity, beat it to hell, and then my dad ended up patching it up and selling it to like one of his mechanics.
Wow.
And like he like drove it off.
And the love boat is no more.
No. But what a chariot while I had her.
Many lovely memories in there. All right.
Oh,
I
God.
think Alec, you gotta pick another one of these.
All right, I'll do a red. I'm going
Red.
Did you do a red?
Nope. We've
No,
only
you're
done-
the first one to
yeah.
pull a red one.
Okay. Ooh, have you ever had the one that got away?
I mean, I don't think, like, I feel like it's like one of the, I don't think so. Again, it's like one of those things where I think when you're still like young, it's hard to have like that much experience or like to even have perspective on like what that situation really like could be. So at this point, no.
No regrets.
No, none.
All right. Well, Alec, how about you? Do you ever feel like you've had the one that got away?
No, but I was able to get away, which was
Thank
nice.
goodness.
Yes.
Well, what are you referring
Yes.
to? Get away from what? You know I'm going to go in deep with this. I'm not going to let you get away with that comment.
It's never that easy, is it, Kendall? So I dated this girl for 5 years. It went as well as it could for as long as it could, and then the situation deteriorated immensely when we came out here. Yes, I followed a girl out to California, and it sort of blew up in my face. Yeah, and I caught her cheating on me for like 7 months behind my back.
7 months.
7
Wow.
months. Part of that's me just being oblivious, I guess. I don't know.
I wouldn't use the word oblivious. I would say you were trusting someone that you'd been with for 5 years.
Yeah.
And to find out that someone had cheated on you for that long after being together with them for that long, like, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's why it's like, I couldn't imagine it. I've never been in like a super long-term relationship. And I think that like, I don't know. Yeah. The thought of like somebody that you've been fully relying on for like that long and like uprooted your life for. But I'm also a big believer that like things really do like happen for a reason. Even like the shittiest stuff that's ever happened to me, like I always look back and I'm like, thank God that happened. So like,
Oh, it was a heck of a learning curve.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome. I wouldn't take it back because I am sort of who I am now because of it, and it's now my eyes are sort of wide open, and you know, I'll go into the next relationship like sort of aware of myself and what's going on around me. So
Do you feel like it'll make it so you maybe don't trust the next person that you date as much? Or what are your viewpoints on that?
no, because I think when you date somebody and you love them, you know, trust is sort of at the foundation, and it's not something that you just like don't have. It's part of the foundation, and I think if you're able to love someone, it's because you trust them, and so no, I don't foresee that being an issue moving forward at all. It's just
I mean, I think that's a very mature viewpoint to have after an experience like that. It's true.
and you should know me. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be extremely difficult, though, for me, I feel, after having an experience like that, to, I guess, go into a new relationship with as much trust or as much of myself, like, open.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had any experience with cheating or...
like a little bit, it was, again, but yeah, I feel like it was just like it was one of the situations where I was really young. The only real experience I had was like my same like high school boyfriend. We like tried to make it work in college, clearly did not work at all. And like, I found out that like he was cheating on me. So like I cheated on him back to like get back at him and be petty. And it was just so stupid. And, you know, but yeah, since then I think I just kind of realized that like, yeah, again, like I think like honesty and trust are like really the only reasons like you should be in a relationship with a person. Like if you can't trust them, then you're kind of just like wasting your time in general. So like if there isn't like that trust there, then like there doesn't need to be like any sort of investment really.
Yeah, I can 100% agree with that. Without trust, there is nothing. So we have reached the end of the podcast, but we can't completely end the podcast without some honesty time. Now, this is probably the hardest part of the podcast, harder than the jar of forbidden questions to not ask on a first date. So I'm going to be separating each of you guys, you know, getting a little information about how the date went.
Okay.
So, Alec, would you mind giving Emily and I some private time?
Oh, let me get out of here.
Honesty time. All right, right, Emily.
Okay.
So a lot went down on this first date. What were some things that stood out to you?
He definitely just seemed like a really nice, like genuine person and seemed like confident and funny. And so I like all those qualities for sure.
What was your first impression? He's walking into the... No, you guys actually saw each other sitting in the studio.
Yeah.
So you see each other for the first time. What was your first impression of Alec?
Honestly, I think my first impression was just like more like, what is this whole thing about to be right now? Like I still kind of... But I mean, yeah, I think like my first impression was he's a good-looking guy, definitely. And he's like seemed... It was just kind of honest. My first impression was like, okay, like there's another person here. Like we're both like have to deal with this. We can like we'll get through it. Like you know,
Teamwork makes the dream work.
All right, yeah, I was like, all right, like at least there's someone else here too.
So were there any red flags that you noticed during the podcast?
Well, as somebody like I think my longest relationship has been like about a year or so, and so some like I know that I'm not generally the type that like gets into like super long-term relationships. So I would just say that like him coming out of like a 5-year relationship and it still sounds like, I mean, like he sounds like he's like past it and stuff like that. But I know that like that's obviously like a big thing to like still be kind of like, I don't know. I feel like if I came out of a relationship for 5 years, I would be like, I need 5 years to be single now.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot to go through, especially with how everything ended.
Yeah,
so I
definitely.
can completely understand. All right, so how are you vibing, Alec? Like how...
Yeah, I mean, he seems like a really great guy, and I would be down to like hang out in like a casual, you know, situation, just like hang out since we, you know, really got to like delve into the deep questions this time. I think that, you know, just like maybe like a lighter situation, like going out for like drinks or sometime like that could be fun.
Okay. So there's a potential.
Yeah, I'm always open to the experience.
Okay. So we'll see for sure if you guys are down to date coming up. But we're going to bring Alec in here, and we're going to get honest with him. Honesty time. All right. So Emily, what was your first impression of Emily when she came in the studio?
Oh, beautiful girl. Yeah. Very, she came into the room. Although I was like joking with her, I had my hands down, I couldn't see her. But yeah, she walked in, she was super confident, fun, bubbly, smart. Yeah. So I really liked her.
Nice. Okay. So after getting to know her a little more in depth, what are your thoughts after getting to know her more?
She's like totally the kind of girl you could just like hang out with. And I used the term, I guess we joked about the term Netflix and chill earlier on. Yeah, you could totally Netflix and chill this girl. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a compliment.
I don't, it shouldn't sound the way it came off, but.
Like a serious Netflix or chill? Or?
I think it would sort of like be an easygoing that gets sort of serious halfway through the Netflix and chill.
It depends what movie, though, too.
It does.
I mean, is it a rom-com? Is it a horror movie?
I think we swing wide and we go for The Notebook.
The Notebook. That's like.
I want to see. I want to cry. You know.
Oh, okay, you want to get vulnerable. I like that. I like that in a man. Let's see. Okay, so did you notice any red flags?
Not really. I think. It's sort of interesting. I think the number 2 comment got me a little bit. I couldn't do that.
I mean, I'll have to tell you, that was a red flag for me, too.
Really?
Yeah.
You'll never do that.
I would never.
You would never.
I would never.
I am mortified even being in the bathroom when I'm doing it, let alone somebody else being there.
I gotta make sure, like, the door's sealed, the blinds are down, the lights are
I'm
off.
like caulking the door shut. Like, please never.
Absolutely no.
Yeah, this room of the house
the outside
is
world.
closed when this is done. Yeah.
The forbidden zone. All right, but you have been in a 5-year relationship. So do you feel like that's something that like factors into play if you're ready for another relationship right now, or short term or long term?
That's a good question. You know, it's not that I'm against long term at all. I think it would have to be, you know, the right situation, the right person, the right circumstances. Because I'm not the kind of person who sort of jumps from relationship to relationship. I just take my time. I reflect. You know, I sort of, you know, I really take my time to evaluate. Okay, you know what? You took a stab at it. It went 5 years. What do you need to change to make it go 25, 30, 50 years? You know, so that's sort of my sort of the time I'm in now. But if the right person comes along, absolutely open to it. So
what do you look for in a significant other?
I think just like allowing the person to be themselves is a really, really big thing for me, because so much of the time where I think these women try to, they find a guy, they go, oh, I could totally fix him up. And like, I could totally make him next level. And it's like, I'm hopefully I can get to next level on my own. Like, why don't we just be together and see where it goes?
Having that independence and trust
Absolutely.
that the other person can be their own person, solve their own problems, don't need to hold each other's hand going through it. I think the significant other, I always feel like they're always the most attractive when they are completely themselves, independent of anyone else.
Yes. Could not have said it better myself, even if I said it.
All right. Okay, so now we're going to get Emily back in here.
Okay.
Guys, hold your hands out, thumb midway. And if you guys would see yourselves going on another date, hanging out again, thumbs up. Maybe just staying as friends, thumbs down. On the count of 3. You can feel the tension.
God, this is nerve-wracking.
Alrighty. 1, 2, 3.
I'm like midway.
Midway. Okay. So we got a thumbs up from Alec. We have a midway from Emily.
Okay.
All right. So what are things that you found that you had in common, or how would it work, Alec?
I think you're very fun. I think you're beautiful. I think we would have a great time together if we went out. There'd be a lot of laughs, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it'd be just sort of a fun time.
So Emily, why are you midway?
I mean, I'm definitely, I think it would be fun to go out. I would say, I think like definitely like having like a lot of laughs, fun time, especially after, I think we did a pretty good job at mitigating the serious questions. But yeah, just like obviously a more casual environment would probably be a better way to like.
Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned that the fact that he was in a 5-year relationship was something that you were thinking about.
Yeah. And I was also just, because like casual things, like I tend to like be at a place right now where I know that like more casual things are like what works better for me, and like probably not looking for like a 5-year relationship right now. But then I was saying before, but like I am the type of person where, like I'm always open to like experiencing things, and I'm not the type of person to like shut things out ever. So I'm always open to explore.
So I feel like this is ending with somewhat of a mystery.
Yeah.
I know, stay tuned.
But I do want to ask, before we wrap out, I want to ask if either of you guys could give our listeners advice about relationships and about dating. What would that be? Alec?
Some advice would be stop and evaluate where you are in your current relationship, and get the person you're with to actually sit down and have a serious conversation and look them in the eyes and actually know where you guys actually stand. Because what I found is that miscommunication runs very, very, very high, even in the most successful relationships. So I would say definitely stop, take a breather, evaluate. And if you guys are on the same page, great. If not, figure out how to get there.
I love that. That's actually I feel like you had that prepared. I love that.
Yeah, that was good.
Right off the top of my head.
All right, Emily, you got to follow that up. What advice would you give our listeners and to everyone listening right now?
I think my advice is kind of in the same vein as that, but I think that like sometimes the communication with yourself is like also what's most important. I think that people have like a tendency to like lie to themselves about what they want or what they're looking for, or like if they are or aren't happy. And so like they could even think that they're being like openly like communicative with like the other person and think that they're doing that, but like the truth is that they're just lying to themselves more than anything else. It's not even that like they're lying to the other person, so, So I think that like you can't really be in an honest relationship with another person if you can't be like in an honest relationship with yourself. So I think that like getting to the place where like you're clear on like who you are and like what you want and what works for you and what doesn't work and all of those things, and like being honest with yourself about that, and then in turn, like you said, being able to then like share that honesty with another person and not.
I think that's important. I think it's when you're ready within yourself, then you're ready to accept someone else into your life.
Yeah.
And you're at the right place within yourself. It could be anybody could be coming up to you. It could be the person that you're meant to be with coming up to you. But if you're not ready within yourself, then you just won't be ready.
Right.
All right, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys being here. Oh my goodness.
Yes, thank you for having me.
It's been so much fun talking with you guys.
Yes.
And I know it's a crazy, vulnerable place to be in, but I appreciate you guys coming here and just opening up and just going for it, taking a risk. Well, folks, this has been Down to Date with Kendall Long. Hopefully we all had a bit of fun getting in depth and really breaking that first date surface level conversation. I feel like regardless of the outcome, it's always worth it to challenge your first date conversations to truly get to know somebody. If you guys like this podcast, please, please, please subscribe, rate, review, share. We would absolutely love to keep the conversation going. I will also be posting things on my Instagram, KeyKendall88, and on my Twitter, Kendall Patrice Long. So please make sure to follow me if you guys want to hear more information about Down to Date podcast.